Hosea 1:10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living power. Then the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel. Kol halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakaha Kudash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. The would-be judges and the scattered elect that are scattered all over the four corners of the earth among the heathen nations that look like those heathen nations. This is not a black thing. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the great millstone, coming at you another lesson in truth. And we're going to disgrace Esau Edom, the so-called white man, and shed a light on his lies. This is Deuteronomy 33 and 29. And it reads, Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by Yahweh, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thy enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. All right. What you're looking at are Edomite depictions of Ham, Shem, and Japheth. All right. You don't see anybody brown. Nobody chocolate brown, nobody light brown, nobody swarthy or tawny. I am what you would call a tawny complexion. Tawny people are related to and come out of swarthy people who are from a dark chocolate brown, like a dark East Indian or a dark African, to a light brown, you know, like Terrence Howard, you know, to a what they would even in some cases call yellow or red bone, tawny. So what you're looking at is these false images which have been propagated basically since the Renaissance. All right. Along with certain words, like the word Europe. I don't know how many times I have to show you the Asia map. The Asia one. Let's see. There it is. The map of Asia. And they paint the corner over here as you see it. They paint it yellow, but it's one landmass. There's no separation between Europe and Asia. So there's only 6 continents, it's not 7. So they taught fabrications and lies. Mountains don't separate a continent. Remember, there are many mountains. The Rocky Mountains divide, you know. Then you also have the Appalachian Mountains. And the mountains, I always forget the name of the mountains. There's a couple different sets of mountains up on the northeast, upstate New York and around that area too. Okay? So what you're looking at, when you look at this map, see if we can make it bigger. It actually got smaller. The hell. So I'll just zoom in on it. There we go. I don't know why I did that. There we go. When you zoom in on the map, you can see that the area that they fraudulently call the Middle East sits in Asia. All right? It's not called the Middle East on this map. This is a map of Asia. And it's showing you, and then it, and then this part over here, well, this is Africa over here, but everything above is Asia. See, this is an Asian map. All right, map of Asia. All right, so you can pull back out. The point was made. So this is a lie. Europe is an afterthought. Europe was created to help back up these fraudulent images. But then think about it. It's showing you Ham, Shem, and Japheth is all looking the same. But then they teach a doctrine that if you're born over here in Eurasia, in the European portion of what they, the part of Europe that they started calling, the part of Asia that they started calling Europe, they'll say, well, that's where you pale. Well, then they'll say if you live down here past the equator, you were dark. Yet they got Ham as a so-called white man, Shem as a so-called white man, even though they're right next to each other. Asia connects to Egypt, connects to Africa. All right, so you can see the pattern of lies here. All right, that makes no sense when you really sit back and think about it. And there's a reason that I'm starting with this, just to show you how much of a liar that Esau Edom is. Let me pull out a receipt from the Oxford 1850 dictionary that I have in my evidence folder for anyone that might be new or just missed it. But this is a very crucial piece and damaging piece of evidence. This is the definition from the Oxford 1850 dictionary, all right, which is sitting on the shelf behind me. But Eurasian, all right, Europe plus Asia, and since the compound Eurasia, of pertaining to Eurasia, Europe and Asia considered as forming in reality one continent. All right, Eurasiatic. So the term Europe, when you read in the Bible, when Paul went to Rome, when he went to Italy, when he went to Spain, all right, he didn't go to Europe, he was in Asia. You see? So the European thing came much later as a part of the whitewashing of the Bible, the whitewashing of history. All right, so now that you've seen, matter of fact, let me put the definition up again so that, you Akim out there can screenshot it. And this is from the Oxford 1850 dictionary. All right. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you a bonus. I'm going to give you Yiddish as well. just a bonus. All right. 1850 dictionary. Yiddish, Anglicization of Jewish. A full German name is Judas, Dutch, Jewish German. The English word has been adopted in German, Yiddish. All right. The English word has been adopted in German, the language used by Jews in Europe and America, consisting mainly of German, the origin of Middle Rhine area, with admixtures according to local or individual usage of Balto-Slavic or Hebrew words and printed in Hebrew characters. You see? So they use German, Slavic, all right, from the Middle Rhine area, Balto-Slavic languages, printed in Hebrew characters, and not even in actual Hebrew characters. It's printed in the Assyrian script, because the Hebrew is actually the Phoenician Hebrew. So it's printed in the Assyrian, all right? So now that we've gotten past that, let me get to Job 13 and tell me this one to act up now. But Job 13 and 4. All right, because what's going on is this, come on now I don't want to play. Come on.
Bill Gates just revealed.
There we go.
Bill Gates just.
So let's pause that. All right. Because now Bill Gates, everyone on the planet knows who Bill Gates is. Bill Gates just did a whole seminar. All right. Showing you that the Hebrew Israelites was a black race, a so-called a swarthy race, a dark race of people with woolly hair, wide noses, and Afrocentric features, for lack of a better word. Because remember, the Bible tells you that there's a difference, between a Hamite and an Israelite. Okay, a big time difference. The only thing that they had in common is that they were both swarthy, with woolly hair. All right, but Africans look different. A lot of our people have those features because of the rape, rob, and murder and the slave trade. But our people are a lot more handsome, a lot more attractive than the average African. All right, African people are really not that attractive as so-called Negroes are. All right. And unfortunately, a lot of Negroes have those African features because of the slavery. And then history is not taught, that the Hebrews that were in Africa were refugees there. They weren't from there. They were driven out of Asia. They were driven out of Jerusalem. And they ran west into Africa, into North Africa, and down into West Africa, and settled all those, countries along the Niger or the Niger River. All right. Provide that receipt for you too. All right, because the word nigger literally means swarthy, dark skinned, black person, Negro. It didn't have the negative connotation that it has now. But this is Job 13 and 4, and it reads, "But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value." All right. So we're living in a time, I think it's Jeremiah 19 and 16 or 16, 19. So it must be 16 and 19. Yeah, Jeremiah 16 and 19. "Oh yeah, how my strength and my fortress and my refuge, in the day of affliction the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit." So they're being forced to admit. You see, the angels are showing up. They tried to call them, they went from calling them UFOs and UAPs to drones. All right, and then orbs. Then the orbs started destroying the drones and effed up their their narrative. See, every false narrative that Esau Edom is creating is being brought down. The orbs are the salvation. Those are the angels, the messengers, traveling in the greatness of their strength. And they're here for two reasons. They're here they're watching, all right, because the eyes of the Lord are on the sinful kingdom. That's Amos 9 and 8. And they're also here to deliver for the salvation of the elect of Israel, not all Israel. 2/3 of Israel is going to be cut off and die, as it is on this side, the book of Zechariah, the 13th chapter. All right, and they're also here for the destruction of Esau Edom's kingdom of Babylon the Great. Those are the reasons that they're here, and they're showing themselves. All right, and now Bill Gates is admitting that the Hebrews were so-called black people, were Negroes, and that the Negroes who came to America in slavery are related to these people. And it shows you, even though it doesn't say it, but it shows you in the relics that they know that the natives are also of that bloodline. And all this information is in the Apocrypha, just like the Apocrypha tells you how Esau Edom took over Asia, and including the portion that was once upon a time Japheth's land, and drove Japheth out of their land. Japheth was in the area that's called Europe today. Okay, and Japheth was a Negroid, a swarthy people, right? All of Asia was, including Ammon and Moab, who you would call, Japanese, Chinese, or Korean today. The Malaysians and all those people, Central in the Far East. All of Asia was swarthy and tawny. All right, same as Africa was mostly swarthy. Some tawny people in Africa too, but mostly swarthy. Okay. So Esau, Edom is just being made to be liars. So I did say something. I'm going to give you one more receipt, and then we're going to play this video with Bill Gates and his room full of scientists and evangelists. As I wonder if Vocab Malone was there, and I wonder what he's going to have to say about this. Well, he'll just swipe left when this information comes up. I wonder if he's going to make a video in response to this. I highly doubt it. But a lot of the naysayers, the apologists, they're all going to be made to look pretty foolish. Well, they already have been all along. But let's give you this next receipt before I play this video. And I'm going to play about 5 minutes of it. As I listened to it, I got wind of it. I was watching another brother's video of the Bible Defender. And this is pretty powerful. And this came out on the December 22nd on top of that. So, and we've been telling you and warning you, there was the mountain of evidence that proves what the Hebrew Israelites, or what they call the black Hebrew Israelites, was saying is true. There's a mountain of overwhelming evidence that they just, as the beloved brother Yawana said, the elephant in the room is taking a shit, and you still trying to ignore this gigantic pile of shit and this gigantic elephant. You can't do both, man. The smell is going to lead your attention. Okay, so I don't have that. Now, see, thought I had that definition. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I do. Knew I was smart. Wiser than that. But I was talking about the word they call Niger, that is actually pronounced nigger, like in Acts the 13th chapter. And it literally means swarthy, so on those dark skin. It didn't have the vulgar connotation that it has now. Here's the definition. Pause it and read it. All right. Nigger, N-I-G-E-G-G-E-R, phonetically spelled N-I-G-E-R. That's when they say Niger, see? It's actually nigger, okay? Negre, God damn it, come on, brother. Negro, dark, now usually a contemptuous and vulgar term, all right? And so it's a contemptuous and vulgar term, but it wasn't, all right? It says, any dark-skinned person, adjective prevailing among or characteristic of American Negroes. All right. So that was just an extra side receipt to do damage to the lies that have been pushed by the so-called white man. So without any further ado, I'm going to play the first 5 minutes of this video that you see on the screen, that with Bill Gates admitting that the Israelites, and that there's validity to what the Hebrew Israelites have been saying all along. All right.
Revealed the biggest biblical cover-up in history. Black Israelites exposed. In a revelation that has left the world stunned, billionaire philanthropist and tech mogul Bill Gates recently stepped into the heart of an explosive historical debate. In a dramatic announcement that sent shockwaves across social media and academic circles, Gates claimed to have uncovered one of the most significant biblical cover-ups in history. The erasure of the truth.
Now, mind you, The Hebrew Israelites, all right, have been on the internet since 2007. The apostles and elders were on street teaching, way before that. So 30 plus years of telling you, okay, going back to Ben Amin and his group, okay, because a lot of them ended up in Chicago in the 70s, going into the 80s. So we've told you, way before Bill Gates ever said it. Now maybe you niggers and niggerettes will actually listen.
True identity of the Black Israelites. This revelation, supported by allegedly groundbreaking evidence, challenges long-held narratives about biblical history and raises profound questions about race, religion, and power. The implications are seismic. Gates's declaration strikes at the very core of Western religious traditions, compelling millions to reevaluate their understanding of Scripture and history. As debates rage in churches, universities, and online platforms, the world grapples with the enormity of his claims. Does this revelation signal a pursuit of historical truth, or does it mark the beginning of a new era of controversy and division? We want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about Gates's shocking announcement and its potential impact on biblical history? Share your insights in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more thought-provoking discussions.
See, this is going to be detrimental to the Israelis, which a lot of the world, including other Edomites, have been telling you that, that they are not the people of the Lord. They're not. They're Edomites. They're converts. The same way the Edomites took over Europe from Japhet and turned it pale. The same way they did it in Australia, the same way they did it in America. It's the same thing they did as of lately when they fulfilled this biblical prophecy in Ezekiel, the 36th chapter. Ezekiel 36 and 5. Well, I read verse 2. I like to read verse 2 first. For thus said the Lord power, because the enemy have said against you, aha! Even the ancient high places are ours in possession. That's a term that Jewish people still use to this day. Jumping down to verse 5. Therefore, thus said the Lord power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea, which is the Greek way of saying Edom, the Edomites, the Caucasian, white people, so-called, self-proclaimed, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with the spiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. The actual inhabitants will cast it out as prey and sold into slavery. All right. And even the inhabitants there now that don't belong there either are violently being murdered. I saw a video of cats eating on the dead bodies, faces, and heads of dead children. It was pretty sick. All right. I may do a video on it. All right. But yeah.
Discussions and updates. Let's explore this monumental debate together. 1. Gates' revelation, details of the alleged cover-up, and the evidence he presents. Bill Gates' unexpected foray into historical revelations began almost serendipitously. Known globally as a technological innovator and philanthropist, Gates had little reason to anticipate that his efforts in preserving ancient texts would lead him to confront one of the most controversial debates in theological history. However, as he himself has recounted,
so admitting that it's a big controversy. Hence the reason why the angels are here. The controversy of Zion.
Started as a philanthropic.
According to this Cash App card I found, I'm Nurse Mallory Jones, and I'm about to buy this
initiative to digitize ancient manuscripts in collaboration with Middle Eastern and African archives turned into a journey of discovery, one that he describes as both unsettling and transformative. Central to his claims is a narrative that challenges centuries of accepted history and religious interpretation. The possibility that the physical and cultural characteristics of the ancient Israelites,
because see, when you look at all the art about the Israelites, they'll be talking about something that happened in, in 1 AD, 365 BC, 300 BC, 200 BC, 90 BC, 95 AD. But when they show you the art, they show you what you're looking at on the screen. Well, the Bible has always said this. This is Jeremiah 14:2. Judah mourneth in the gates thereof language. They are black unto the ground. They are swarthy, like the soil. The cry of Jerusalem is gone up. One of my favorites is Lamentation. In the book of the prophets, the Tanakh, 4:8. And it reads, their visage, meaning when you look at them, is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. They're not, because they're called Negroes, Hispanics, Natives, Dominicans, Indians. All right? Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It has become like a stick. The manuscript of the Bible, which is the truest evidence, which is the first evidence, told you that they're darker or dark as coal.
were far different from traditional portrayals.
Traditional
Gates's journey
lied.
began with a project to fund the preservation of ancient manuscripts as part of a broader effort to protect global heritage. His initiative targeted regions where conflict and environmental degradation threatened the survival of priceless historical records. While collaborating with archivists and historians in the Middle East and Africa, Gates's team encountered a...
Now, we just showed you that the Middle East is Western Asia, because here's the very same map. I'm holding it in my hand. All right. Let me put some light on it. All right. That's a map of Asia. Okay. What they call the Middle East, was Jerusalem sit where Israel sits, is in Western Asia. So even when they tell the truth, they lie. They're still trying to control the narrative.
Set of documents and artifacts that, according to him, diverge significantly from traditional biblical narratives. The first of these findings was a collection of ancient Hebrew...
And why do they diverge from biblical narratives? They don't diverge from the biblical narratives. They diverge from the narrative that Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man who's really red, did not call himself red or Edom, but he won't tell you who they are. Okay? The Bible has always told you that the Hebrews, the angels, that God, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, was so-called black, was so-called Negroes. It's always told you that. They just refuse. When they paint, they just paint images of themselves, just as the Bible says. This is First Maccabees 3:48. I get straight to the point. You could read before that, but just get straight to the point. When they opened up the book of the law, this is what the Israelites found. And they laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought the light to paint the likeness of their images. So they started this long time ago. When they opened up the holy book, the Edomites had begun to paint the likenesses of themselves, as if they were, the prophets in the Bible themselves. So this is nothing new.
Hebrew texts discovered in a previously unexplored section of a Middle Eastern archive.
There he goes,
written in
Middle East lie
archaic Hebrew
again.
script. These texts describe the Israelites with physical features often associated.
So if the archaic, I do believe, is the Phoenician script, the Phoenician script should actually be disregarded. You should only really deal with the Phoenician. All right. The Paleo Hebrew. because the Phoenician script, once again, that's connected to the Yiddish. That is, and there's a major reason why they do that. All right, because as they were hiding that the Northern Kingdom, that the natives of the Americas were Israelites, because found among them was the Phoenician script. Okay, so that they wouldn't be, exposed for doing to the natives what they did, putting us into slavery, stealing our land, putting us on the same slave ships, and sending us back and forth, to the islands, to Africa, to Europe. They couldn't justify doing this to the Lord's people when they came over here, right? Because the slave trade didn't begin in 1619; it began in 1492.
With African peoples, dark skin, tightly coiled hair, and broad facial structures. If accurate, these descriptions starkly contrast with the Europeanized imagery that has dominated religious art and literature for centuries.
Complete and total lies.
Further supporting this discovery were artifacts from African archives suggesting a historical connection between certain African communities and ancient Israelite tribes. Among these were genealogical records tracing familial lineages to regions historically associated with the biblical land of Israel. Gates's team also uncovered
Now Gates' team uncovered oral traditions and stuff. Look what you see on this imagery right here. The natives, the Gadites. And that man in the green might actually be James Adair, who lived among them. James Adair probably wrote the biggest manuscript on the fact that he was convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that he knew, not convinced, that he knew. All right, as you see in these natives sit around in their Hebrew dress and talk about ancient things, wore the Hebrew garments with the fringes on the bottom, just like it's wrote in the book of Numbers. All right, that they were keeping the Passovers, that they had multiple wives, that they abstained from eating unclean foods, that they even had an Ark of the Covenant that they carried before them when they went into battle, that they were speaking broken Hebrew. All right, it's like when you hear, when you hear the Hebrew alphabet. All right, one thing that I found is that when you say it backwards, it sounds like the native language. All right, like ta, sharakwa, taza, pa, I, sana'a, mala, kaza, kaya, kaya za, cha, za, wa, ha, daga'a. All right, dagaba'a. It's you can know how you exactly. Because they took the Phoenician form and added the vowel points and changed the language. All right. This also proves Jeremiah 50 and 33. We'll close there. And it reads, "Thus saith the Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go." Call halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakaha Kodash Kwam Yasharala Abab Abal. Hold on, brothers and sisters, we're almost home.